1-year-old girl is dead, and investigators say she was likely electrocuted after touching live wires.
It really hurts me.
Her 1-year-old daughter, Christina Tillman, died Monday at the D'Iberville townhomes. When a 9 News crew arrived on the scene last night, we found the air conditioning unit closest to the little girl's home with no cover over live wires. The coroner's office says an autopsy will be done tomorrow.
It was right next to an air conditioning unit. There was condensation that had leaked off the pipes. There was exposed electrical wires. The baby was barefooted. Everything's consistent with the baby being electrocuted. Since last night, a sheet of metal has been put in place, covering the wires.
It's been uncovered for a while.
So it's not something that was just left uncovered yesterday?
No.
While we were at the townhomes, we found this man working on a different AC unit. It appeared he was tightening a cover and electrical box. Can we ask you what you're doing, sir?
No, ma'am. No comment, ma'am.
Are you working on this air conditioning unit?
No, I'm just contracting. Yeah.
Did you put any covers on any air conditioning units here?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What were you just doing?
I was just doing what I was told to do.
What is that? Can you tell us what you were doing? He went inside the leasing office. Are you a manager? At the same time, a woman went into her car. Hello? Ma'am, are you a manager here? And left the property. Another woman went inside the leasing office and locked the door. A few minutes later, the woman who tenants say is the property landlord came back. Are you a manager here?
I'm sorry, I have no comment at this time.
Do you work here? Ignoring us, she continued to give directions to a working crew. Were these boxes uncovered yesterday? Why were these boxes uncovered?
No comment.
Do you work here? Can we talk to a manager?
A 9 News report has triggered an expanding investigation into the death of a young child. Lead investigator Kieran Chawla has more now from West Baton Rouge.
Based on the reports of WAFB, we saw that there were actually some electrical violations that need to be looked at.
Today we followed Captain Chad Robichaux and Eric Johnson as they went looking at those specific AC units we pointed out.
There's too much exposed wiring coming out of the AC unit. All that stuff should definitely be covered up inside that conduit. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of deficiencies here.
Total, deputies say they found approximately 140 violations. That includes wiring, fire extinguishers, and improper smoke barriers in the attics. Plus, officials say majority of the smoke detectors were missing or broken in all 48 units.
In a tearful interview with 9 News investigators, a man who used to work at a complex where a 1-year-old girl was electrocuted says he's not surprised.
Well, I was scared to death for those little children.
What were you scared of?
What happened? That some kid was going to stick their hand in there and die. And one did.
Jack tells us there were AC unit covers laying all over the place, and several were uncovered, not just the one where the little girl died. He says he told management there were hanging wires and something needed to be done.
I wouldn't work for Ladder and Bloom again if they offered me a 10-figure salary.
If you could say anything to Ladder and Bloom, what would it be?
On that property, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Take quick action. That's what a maintenance man tells 9 News investigators he and others were ordered to do after Kieran Chawla's reports on the electrocution of a 1-year-old girl.
Ladder Bloom called managers and told them to make sure they go around the property, putting covers on everything, make sure it wasn't nothing faulty, there wasn't no wires hanging out anywhere.
The 9 News investigators also visited other Ladder and Bloom properties. You can see wires coming out right on top.
State Fire Marshal investigators found more than 1,000 violations at a Ladder and Bloom property today and issued cease and desist letters in the process.
Their action comes after our 9 News lead investigator Kieran Chawla's report last week.
3 State Fire Marshal deputies arrived at the Copper Ridge Apartments on North Lobdell today. We attempted to follow them, but 2 uniformed Baton Rouge police officers were hired to keep us off of property.
Ladder and Bloom said y'all aren't allowed on the property.
Place du Plancher, their air conditioning units are on the roof, but notice the units are uncovered, much like in Addis, with live high voltage wires exposed. The state fire marshal says it's a problem.
Well, you don't want any exposed wiring.
Since we first aired that footage, those units now have covers on them. The Addis police chief tells me they have wrapped up their investigation into a 1-year-old who died from electrocution. As for her family, they have now filed suit. So far, Ladder and Bloom's lawyer has not commented.